more than 8,000 kilometres long, crossing 11 countries. The idea is the Great Green Wall.
If you look at this map of Africa, you will see the Sahara Desert in red, spanning over 3,000 miles across northern Africa. It's a place of extremes: extreme heat, extreme dryness, and extreme beauty. But despite its allure, the encroachment of the desert poses a significant threat to the region's people and ecosystems. Overgrazing, land mismanagement, and droughts in the semi-arid Sahel region continue to fuel the expansion of the desert, resulting in hunger, poverty, and conflict. However, in the midst of this crisis, Niger, seen in blue on the map, is one of the countries situated in the heart of the Sahara, and it has achieved a remarkable feat. They have turned large swathes of their barren, desertified land into productive farmland, restoring over 5 million hectares of land and planting over 200 million trees, all while receiving a meager 6.5 inches of rainfall annually. The question is, how did they do it? Join us in this video to find out how Niger turned the tide and transformed their desert into an oasis. 15 years ago, a vision was born in Africa, a vision so grand that it could change the face of the continent. The idea was to plant a long line of trees, 8,000 kilometers in length and 15 kilometers wide, stretching from the Atlantic to the Indian Ocean, creating a green barrier to combat the encroaching desert. Today, that vision has evolved into the Great Green Wall, GGW, an intricate tapestry of farms, forests, and wilderness where nature thrives and water is preserved. The GGW aims to turn rural areas into vibrant economic centres, providing jobs and ample food for the people living there. As one of the protectors of this grand plan, IFAD is working tirelessly to make sure that this vision becomes a reality. When humans cause climate change, population growth, or engage in unsustainable land and water management, the land becomes degraded, causing a range of negative effects like crops becoming harder to grow, biodiversity loss, and an increased likelihood of disasters. In regions like the Sahel, land degradation can have a catastrophic impact, leaving once fertile lands barren. In the mid-20th century, the Sahel saw more frequent and severe droughts that led to famine and prompted world leaders to take action. IFAD was established as a result of a UN conference held in response to these crises. Despite these efforts, desertification continued to advance southward, causing another terrible famine in 1984 to 85 that resulted in hundreds of thousands of deaths. Experts pointed out that it was human activity that caused desertification, and only human action could stop it. Over the following years, the Great Green Wall initiative gained momentum as the impacts of climate change and environmental degradation due to human activity became increasingly clear. Finally, in 2007, 11 Sahelian states signed up to the initiative, determined to restore degraded land and hold back encroaching desertification. What makes the GGWI unique is that it is led and owned by African countries, and it takes an integrated approach to development and land restoration. Its overarching goals are ambitious: to restore 100 million hectares of degraded land, sequester 250 million tonnes of carbon, and create 10 million green jobs in rural areas by 2030. To achieve these goals, the countries in the initiative have introduced sustainable land management practices in forestry and agriculture, water and soil. These practices include reforestation, land restoration, agroforestry, improved irrigation, watershed management, boreholes, terracing and dune fixing to prevent erosion, and wind and fire breaks. By 2011, about 4 million hectares were reported as restored under the GGWI, and another 17.8 million hectares had been restored outside the intervention zones. Encouragingly, satellite imagery confirmed that in many areas the encroaching desertification was being held back or even reversed. Despite these achievements, the pace of restoration needs to increase by as much as fourfold to reach the 2030 target, as estimates suggest. However, this is easier said than done, as many countries still lack the necessary environmental governance structures or institutional and coordination capacity to undertake this ambitious intersectoral initiative. Additionally, the long-term nature of the project makes it difficult to keep track of activities and ensure their sustainability. The funding hurdle is another significant challenge, as the GGW will require an initial investment of US $3.6 to $4.3 billion by 2030 to meet the land restoration targets. Meanwhile, Niger, a republic in West Africa, has managed to astound the world with its progress in land restoration. Despite over 80% of its land being situated in the Sahara Desert, the country has made remarkable strides in agriculture, despite the challenges posed by poor soil, erratic rainfall, and prolonged droughts in the Sahel region. Previously, farmers faced enormous losses in the 1970s and 80s due to a lack of trees in their fields, leading to crops being destroyed by wind erosion. Africa is losing 4 million hectares of forest each year, and over 700 million hectares of degraded land are available for restoration, presenting a tremendous opportunity for Africa to restore the land back to productive health. Restoration of degraded land can bring substantial social and economic benefits to rural farming communities, aid in combating climate change, and provide a platform for traditional knowledge enhanced with modern technology. In Niger, a remarkable initiative has taken root, aiming to restore 5 million hectares of land. The key player in this regenerative effort is the Farmer-Managed Natural Regeneration, FMNR, a low-cost land restoration technique that has already shown impressive results. The aim of FMNR is to tackle poverty and hunger among poor subsistence farmers by boosting food and timber production and building resilience to climate extremes. It is a transformative technology that has been able to enhance the productivity and resilience of crop fields and pasture lands in Africa's challenging Sahel region. In fact, FMNR is considered one of the most effective tools in the fight against environmental degradation and food insecurity in the region. What sparked the beginning of this initiative? In 1983, Tony Ronaldo, an Australian agronomist, introduced a groundbreaking solution to the severe deforestation and desertification of the Sahara region, FMNR. Nicknamed the Forest Maker, Ronaldo's FMNR is a low-cost land restoration technique that draws on traditional practices while being sensitive to local variations. Through careful pruning and protection of select plants, farmers can encourage them to grow into trees. By implementing a straightforward set of management practices, farmers have managed to regenerate and preserve existing local vegetation, thereby enhancing the livelihoods of millions. FMNR's sustainable approach to growing trees and forests is a vital tool in restoring degraded lands, building resilience, and helping people and societies adapt to climate change. Forests play a crucial role in mitigating the effects of climate change, as they can absorb up to 2 billion tonnes of carbon dioxide per year. However, traditional tree planting methods have a low success rate, with only around 10% of seedlings surviving the harsh conditions of Niger's savanna. This changed when Tony Ronaldo noticed that the millions of small bushes in the region were actually the stumps of trees growing back. By managing and pruning the new shoots, they could grow into trees. This inspired the development of farmer-managed natural regeneration, a simple set of actions that farmers can take to re-green their land. This involves selecting the right species to regenerate, choosing a few stems to grow while cutting the rest for fodder or mulch, pruning the selected stems, marking and protecting the regrowing trees, and repeating the process every few months. Niger's FMNR has become a sensation, and it's all thanks to its simplicity, affordability, just about $20 per hectare, adaptability, and compatibility with agricultural practices. Moreover, it produces quick and impressive results. Word of mouth among farmers has helped spread the technique across the country and beyond, with limited need for outside help. More than 200 million trees have been restored across 5 million hectares of land in Niger using FMNR, and about 2.5 million people have reaped the benefits of improved land use. This method is already in use in at least 25 countries, mainly in Africa. And FMNR's significance lies in its utilization of natural techniques to address agricultural challenges, rather than restoring to faster alternatives that utilize harmful chemicals. This approach is something that Tony Ronaldo has been familiar with from a young age, growing up in the agricultural region of Ovens Valley in North Victoria. Tony's concern over the environmental consequences of farming practices that relied on planes to spray crops motivated him to seek out natural solutions. He was dismayed that these chemicals would not only kill fish in the stream, but also destroy the native bush he cherished and replace it with monocultures of pines. This experience helped Tony develop his approach to re-greening the desert, which provides long-term food security, prosperity, and well-being to the local people. Instead of seeking short-term gains with chemical pesticides, which ultimately cause more harm than good, FMNR prioritizes a sustainable and eco-friendly approach. Over the past few years, FMNR has gained the backing of influential organizations such as the UN, the EU, and Oxfam, who have been providing financial support to promote this natural technique in Niger. As a testament to its success, Niger became one of the first countries worldwide to pass a presidential decree that regulates and encourages the use of FMNR. This official recognition is expected to encourage more farmers and pastoralists to adopt this innovative method. FMNR has achieved impressive results, doubling the arable land since the 1980s and providing improved food security and nutrition to millions of people, resulting in an average increase of 18 to 24% in household gross incomes. Additionally, the reversal of environmental degradation and desertification across 5 million hectares of land has led to a tenfold increase in tree density since the 1980s, with over 200 million new trees grown and a production value exceeding $260 million. The success of this simple and innovative technique is no surprise, and its adoption is spreading throughout Africa, bringing positive changes to both the environment and the people who inhabit it. Now share your thoughts on Niger's extraordinary success story in the comments section below. If you find this video informative, show your support by hitting the like button. To stay up to date with our future videos, hit the subscribe button, and we'll be back with more exciting content soon.